Hello, I'm Bran, and I love the Chicken Sisters.
Hi, I'm Jax, and I like the Chicken Sisters.
Hi, I'm Dan, and I despise the Chicken Sisters, and this is the Deck the Hallmark Podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host this podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Wow, wow, wow.
Oh.
Hello, everybody.
Boy.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Friday.
Friday, if
Chicken
you will.
Sister Friday.
Chicken Sisters.
Chicken Fried.
That's not
Day
bad.
Sisters.
That's not bad.
That's good. No,
That's
it's good.
right.
In fact, it's
Yeah,
good.
it's
Yeah.
downright good. It's
Brand,
great to be.
Your intro was spicy.
It
I loved
sounded
it.
like you were going to say, and here's the news. You're like, I'm Brand. Here's the news.
Go to this camera for me, Aaron. Hello and welcome to another episode of The Chicken Sisters.
You know, Brand, for this, it was really good, by the way. For this thing we're doing for South Carolina Public Radio,
Yes.
we get to say occasionally, but first, the news from NPR. We
right.
do get to say that, which is a fun thing to say.
I don't feel qualified.
You
to kick it to
don't
the
say
news.
it with that much gusto.
I don't feel qualified
for
to kick
sure.
it to the news.
No, yeah. But first, the news from NPR.
But first, the news.
The news.
Ooh.
From NPR.
That's right. That's right.
You could do audiobooks.
Here's some jazz music.
He can't because the reading part would be very difficult.
It would be you could memorize it though. I feel like you'd probably be really good at that.
Danny Calamingo. It's wrong.
All right, cut. All right, cut.
It's not Carla Mingo.
Let's go from the top. It's
Sorry.
actually Juan, not Juwan.
Okay.
He did that, Jax.
In earnest?
Yes.
Yes, in earnest.
Yeah.
Scared
You want to
stupid.
take back your audiobook statement?
You have so many other talents.
There it
Brand.
is. There it is. There she is.
The cat. The cat in the hat. Red. What if children's books were read with that type
With
of...
that, with Morgan Freeman.
Yeah. It's great to be here
yeah.
today on a
No, I
Friday
don't.
talking
Sam, I am.
chicken. That's not bad. Talking Chicken Sisters. Can you do Dragons Love Tacos and Morgan Freeman, please?
How do I know dragons love tacos?
Do they like it when it's spicy? Do they like it when the tacos are spicy,
Get
Morgan?
rid of all the spicy salsa.
Dig a hole.
Pant loads of tacos.
Pant loads of
Brand.
tacos. Yeah, Morgan, can you say pant loads of tacos?
Pant loads. It's not a good Morgan Freeman.
It is for me
It's
now.
just a D. It's like
Yeah.
a C minus Morgan
It's
Freeman.
okay.
I'm enjoying it.
Thank you.
Jax, also Merry Christmas is in order. The new schedule is out. Congratulations to us.
Yeah.
Big.
Congratulations to Aaron Shea for picking the
Christmas.
day correctly.
Yeah, I know. It's huge.
Which is,
Congrats,
yes.
This was
Aaron.
huge. This was huge. Did any movies stick out to you, Jax, that you're especially excited about? I know we'll be previewing the movies soon, but is there anyone that stuck out to
Anything
you?
that was really like, whew.
I am super excited about the lesbian one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think we all are.
I think
we
it's
all are.
gonna be. I think it's gonna be really, really great.
Yeah.
Man, shooting your shot there.
Boy,
My hope. I
boy,
just.
howdy, those two women are attractive, and I can't wait to see them kiss.
I just hope it doesn't get dropped before the holiday season. That'd
Yeah.
be unfortunate.
Be unfortunate.
Not with talents like that.
No, you can't.
No, you wouldn't.
You can't.
You would never. You would never.
We would never. Also,
What about you, Bran?
well, I already, I talked about it a little bit yesterday.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm always
Yeah.
excited about
Dude,
Palaha.
Lacey Chabert.
I'm
Yeah.
excited
Three
about
Wise
that.
Men and a Baby
And the
sequel.
Baby
Yeah, of
stuff
course.
like that. The stables are exciting. But there's some,
Yeah.
there's some ones that I think will be
Yeah.
a pleasant surprise. But
Can't believe they're doing another Carousel movie. Can you believe that?
I think you maybe looked at the wrong schedule.
Oh, maybe I did. My bad.
But we will be previewing all of the movies in the coming weeks. And I believe Jack's going to be joining us for that, which is going to be a lot of fun. I think
Absolutely.
I think it might be our first ever all play preview show. So,
Color
like,
me still not interested.
So, I guess take the day off whenever those drop.
No kidding.
It's going to be a full day situation. And also lots to look forward to on Hallmark Plus apparently this holiday season. Don't know how we're going to get to it all. But first we got to get through the Chicken Sisters. And I mean that in a good way because we're watching it right now and it's been a lot of fun. And I think it's going to take us right up to the holiday season if maths will. We'll see how it all shakes out. Are we ready to dive into episode 3 of the Chicken Sisters, which is called...
Baby, You Were Born to Run.
Oh, Jax? What's it called?
Infidelity.
Oh, wow, no.
You think they give away the whole episode in the title? Cheaters
Well,
in the kitchen after dark.
With flour.
Leah Thompson catches them. It's the name of the episode. There's nothing we can do.
Caught to the future. Back to the future. Before we get... episode's called Desperado.
Desperado.
There you go.
Man. There you have
What's
it.
that about? What's that mean?
Desperate?
Yeah. Oh, is that what it is?
I would
guess.
assume so.
All right. It is desperate. It went a little something like this. The episode begins showing the differences between Amanda and May. Amanda holds on to things that remind her of happy memories, while May gets rid of all the stuff so that she can plan for the future. We then see May...
A desperado is a desperate person.
Thank you. We see that May has been lying about her family to her fiancé for a long time and has no plans on how she's possibly going to introduce them whenever that time comes. Cut to present day, and Gus is shocked to see that the sign has been vandalized at the end of last episode. She knows exactly who it was, May, and she tells May, fix it. Fix it. Nancy goes to tell Frank Jr. that she sees so much of his dad in him and hands him a plaque of the Gentleman's Guide to Business that hung on his dad's wall. And that encourages him to dress for success and actually act like he cares about his wife, Amanda. I'm sure it's going to last for a long time.
Long. Yeah.
Amanda doesn't wait long to get back at her sister for by sabotaging the sweet tea.
You mean that sweet tea?
Sweet tea. And Sergio knows exactly who it was and is very upset at her. May tells Gus that at least the sweet tea situation is good for TV. Gus tells May that she's in the red. Good for TV doesn't matter if I still don't have money, and this sweet tea debacle could be the final straw.
Final straw.
Amanda is very impressed by the new and improved Frank Jr. Hasn't seen him this excited in a while. May goes to get back at Amanda by buying up all of the chicken from the supplier so that the restaurant will run out of chicken. And then they can sell it to them at an upcharge. It's dirty. It's dirty. It's a little bit. I think it's a little bit dirtier than the sweet tea situation, but I don't know. What do I know? This turns into a whole argument between the four of them. Amanda, mad that Gus only seems to love May, tells Gus that the only reason May is here is because she got fired from her TV show and just wants to be on TV again. Shots are being fired all over the place. She goes and is ranting to Frank Jr., and he's like, you know what? Let's do something about it. Come back here after I'm going to close up tonight. I haven't closed up ever. I'll close up the restaurant, and then you come back here, and we will go, and we will make something happen. Sabrina is in her room looking at the dailies. The power goes off, and a very, very hunky repairman comes in. Not only fixes the electrical issues, but also fixes her computer, and then he leaves. I don't know how important he is, but I thought I'd include it.
But he's been in stuff.
He's a good-looking fella,
Yeah.
so it's worth mentioning. May tries to talk to Gus, but she's not having it. She always thought that when May came back, they'd be close and maybe even friends, but it's clear that's not going to happen. Amanda shows up to get Frank Jr. Frank Jr., the gloss of a job well done has worn off, and he's now just sad.
Yeah.
He doesn't like doing hard work. The chicken things are dirty. The grease traps are greasy. He's been a real dinker, and she was excited to go and do something with her husband, and now she's just extra mad. She's just like, I'm out of here. I'm going to do something myself, and she puts her hood up. May shows up at Gus's house, we see that Gus is still a hoarder, and May tells her that the reason why she never came back is because she continually chose all of her hoarded junk over her and Amanda, and reminds her that all of that is just junk. We're your children. It's pretty intense. Amanda breaks into the restaurant and is just going nuts, cutting the flour, throwing stuff all over the place. She's about to unplug the fridge. Sergio walks in, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "I'm done playing nice. I'm done being safe." And he's like, "Oh, yeah?" And then they make out hard, lifts her up, puts her on the
table.
counter.
That's right.
They're kissing hard, and then you hear and they look over, and Leah Thompson's staring through the window in disappointment. And that, my friends, was
The Chicken Sisters, Season 1, Episode 3, Desperado.
How about it, Bob? That's Despacito. Got it.
Desperado.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll break this juicy episode of television down here on
Deck the Hallmark.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Friday. It is great to be talking about another episode of the Chicken Sisters with my friends, and it's time to break this episode down in four segments.
Three or four.
I almost forgot about chicken or fried, and that's on me.
Yeah.
Let's start with
Mamies or Frannies.
Yeah,
yes.
Let's start with, if you want to play that way.
Yeah. Where you say if something this week is chicken,
scared,
or it is fried,
or it's ready to go
to a crisp.
Yeah.
Golden brown.
But we're going to start with the hot take. We're going to get there. We're going to start with the hot take. We're going to share exactly how we felt about this episode of television. Jax, lot going on this episode. What'd you think about it?
I mean, boy, howdy. It's my favorite so far. I'm loving Skylar Fisk now that I know how to say her name. Thank you, Dan. She also reposted our review and was so sweet and was like,
really?
Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, I lost the link. Can I have it back?" And I gave it to her, and I was like, "We really liked your work." And I was like racking my brain to make sure to remember that we did say good things about her, which we did.
I raved. She's the best thing on the show. I'm not saying that now. I said it already. That's great.
I said that. I said, Dan, who's usually the toughest cookie, especially loved your performance.
Wow.
So
There you go.
I think this is a gosh darn delight. I'm loving it. I'm loving that the teenagers are a little bit nicer in this episode, even though, one of them was bribed to do it. I was excited that Frank Jr. was a little bit nice to begin with, and then he just went way down, and now I can't stand him more than I ever hated him. I just cannot. This man needs to be gone. In the book, Sheila told me in the book he's already dead.
Wow.
He's dead to her here in the
When you
show.
say already dead, or do you know something we don't
Is he
about the
going to die?
television program?
Well, he and his dad died, unfortunately, in the same accident in the book.
It was a
so
mining
it's a whole
accident
different dynamic.
by Gallon, and they moved.
We're really combining
Yeah.
it with our favorite Hallmark shows.
Yes.
I thought that this episode had so much. Wendy Malick is just on fire, an incredible scene with her daughter May that I'll talk about more later. This ending, I mean, I'm interested to hear what you guys think, because we knew that this is where it was going with Sergio, but one, I didn't think it would happen so fast, and two, I thought maybe they would kiss in like episode 5, and by episode 10,
This
her
is the
infidelity would be caught out.
When calls the heart. This is the
100%.
I was gonna
what we've
say we're
seen
not in Hope Valley anymore,
What
folks.
we've seen in 3 episodes is more than you would see in 3 seasons of When Calls the Heart. It's crazy.
Yeah, drama, sex, all of it. And I am just surprised, especially that that Leah Thompson caught them. But that's
We
making
called
me
that.
really
We called it. Dan and I
excited for
called
episode
it.
4.
We-
Wait, did you guys? What did you say?
Well, we were watching it, and then she's in there,
watching
and
it, okay.
Sergio comes in, and I was like, they're about to make out. And as soon as I said that, Brand goes, and Leah Thompson's going to catch her.
Well, because right of that scene right
she
before.
says beforehand, she goes and talks to Frank Jr.
Yes, and Frank Jr.'s like, she's going to go do something right now. So I was like, oh, she's going to go over to try to stop her, and she's going to catch her. And
Yeah, they
sure
made
enough,
it
there you
make
go.
sense, which I
Yes.
appreciated.
Yeah, for
She
sure.
wasn't just
It made it make
randomly there.
sense.
Yes.
Now, Bran, although I will say in your very well-written synopsis, you said that Leah Thompson looked disappointed. Did she, or was she a little titillated by it?
Oh, I didn't pick up any titillation, but again, I don't have the eye for that. If you say she was titillated, I'll take your word for it. But to me,
Whatever gets Brian out of this conversation.
yeah.
fastest.
Listen, to me, I spy disappointment, but one person's disappointment may seem like someone else's titillation.
Amen. Amen.
This episode rules. It's great. I'm all in on this show. Dan, it has been a long time since I think maybe since like season 1 of The Way Home that an episode of television on the Hallmark Channel has gotten me out of my seat.
You were
"Woo."
in full
I did
cocaine mode.
I
Woo,
was in
that's
fu-
good TV.
I said it. I said that's good TV.
Yeah.
That's good TV. This episode of TV, if you're trying to cut back on cocaine or trying to avoid it altogether, this is a great
Would you
episode of
say
television
it's
for
chicken
you.
or fried?
I say I think it's fried.
Okay.
This episode rules. It's so good, and I'm excited. I honestly can't believe that they pulled this in episode 3. I don't like the stakes are now. The chicken's now steak, and the stakes are high. Am I saying that? Am I getting that
Yeah.
right? Did I mix metaphors? I'm so excited to see where the show's going to go. And if there's one thing that this is showing me, it's that Hallmark Plus ain't playing by the Hallmark Channel rules. They can do what they want over there, and I love it. All in on Chicken Sisters. Dan.
I actually had written down the steaks now chicken, or the chicken's now steaks, and the stakes are high. So you stole that from me.
Okay.
I can't believe I had that written down. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
This is the best of the 3 episodes. I'm not particularly fond of the hoarding stuff because I think everything else is so ripe for a soapy, fun, who am I pulling for?
What's your problem with the hoarding stuff?
I think the hoarding stuff speaks to a mental illness aspect that they're not going to take seriously nor give the proper due to, and I don't think they have, and I don't think they have, nor
You
will
don't
they.
think
And I
the-
think
the-
people that are children of this that are suffering from it, the first true thing that was said was the thing that May says at the
I
end
was
of the
going to
episode.
say, you don't think that
But
was an
the-
honest look
I
at the
thought that was. I just don't think they're going to give the mental illness side of it what it deserves, nor are they going to give the trauma side of it what it deserves. That's my only complaint. This is the best episode of the 3. It's really soapy. You don't know what's going to happen next because it seems like Hallmark has pulled the brakes off of the normal content restrictions that they have on these television programs. And I think that lends itself to really fun television. The performances, by and large, are really strong. Skylar Fisk, I believe her 100% as Southern in her hometown, but at odds with her mother. I think by and large, the performances make a lot of sense and really work. I also just think, I don't know. I think the hoarding thing also for Gus's character, I just wish Wendy Malick would have something else to do. She's better as a bad guy without a mental illness, I guess is the short version. And so that would be my one restraint on it. It was weird that they just kind of flip-flop with Frank Jr. for no reason whatsoever. But yeah, I think that there's a lot here that we can keep, like, can they keep hitting us with twists? I don't know. I don't know if they have the ability to sustain this because it's got a very soap opera feel to it. It doesn't have the weight of The Way Home, but the acting is good and the story is fun and it's pulpy and you're like, what's going to happen next? And so, yeah, I'm down. I'm here for some Chicken Sisters.
He's here for some Chicken Sisters.
Yeah.
But listen, the chicken's now steaks and the stakes are high.
That's right.
So
Chickens or steaks.
don't you forget it. It's time for all the feels where we talk about what in this episode gave us feels of any sorts. Jax.
So Wendy Malick absolutely destroyed me in the best way possible in this episode when she tells May, you know, how grateful she is that she's back. And then when we had the scene where May goes to her house and we see this reckoning that they're having, like, I just think Wendy Malick is incredible. And even the look on her face when Amanda tells her that May is only back because she got fired,
Yeah.
there is so
much hurt. Yes.
hurt. Oh
Yes.
my gosh. And
She does
you
so
can
many-
feel it. It's guttural.
She does so many little things, like with her reactions that just like work. Like when
She's so good.
May goes off on her about the hoarding, and you can see she's like a little bit choked up, and she says, but she's still in a very Southern way says, "Are you quite done?" Like if you've been in the South long enough, you've seen that. You've seen somebody instead of facing that type of conversation just is like, let me get out of here. Are you done? Because
Yeah.
I want to get out of here. So, but you can see it affecting her, but she's trying not to show it. She's trying not to let May in. And just like her house, she is filled. She's put up. I'm trying to do some sort of beautiful
I
thing
know.
here.
I see what you're trying
And
to
you
do.
like she hoarded her mind. I don't know. There's something there. We'll work on it. We'll workshop it.
It's there.
We'll workshop
I
it.
think, Brand,
Yeah.
there is something there. And
Yeah.
I think if they were using you to consult on how to handle this hoarding and the mental illness of it on the show, we'd be better off for it.
You think so?
I do. I also have to say that the writing on this show, I have so many feels. There's so many good lines, but just two that particularly stood out. And this is an acting moment too, but when Skylar has the line, I don't think about you at all. And then she says it over and over and she's like, that's a
so
good one. I
funny.
don't think about you at all.
Yeah.
So darn cute. And then when when Leah Thompson sees Frank Jr. in a mess of beers and says, unwinding is a bubble bath and a candle. 5 beers is a spring break. I'm like, that's right, girl.
It's a great line. A great line.
It's a good line.
I mean, I thought, hell would have to freeze over before I saw somebody on Hallmark lift another person up onto a counter filled with flour.
Especially when one of them is married to someone else.
Not
Yes.
like,
Yes.
let alone just a regular standard kiss. Like I didn't think I'd ever see that type of kiss on this network. And sure enough, not only is it a crazy kiss that I didn't see coming, it is a kiss between a married woman and the rival cook. It's ripe. It's ripe. I don't want to keep banging a dead horse, but the stakes, they're hot. They're high.
You are not going to keep banging a dead horse. Please.
I certainly hope not.
Can we
Paul.
please edit it just a little bit so it doesn't sound like Brand's a criminal?
So okay. All right. I'm not going to keep beating a dead horse.
There
Is
we
that
go.
better?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
a little bit better.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dan. You're the pervert. You knew.
What? I got Brian full tears in the other room over
can you
here.
give me grace for once in your GD life? You knew what I meant. Just give me a little grace.
Brian, stop banging that dead horse.
Just extend me a little bit of grace.
I don't.
You
Brand,
know colloquialisms are tough for me.
why do you keep going to that well then? Why do you keep trying to bang that dead horse?
Because I want to try to, let people. I talk for a living, believe it or not. I got to try to explain myself the way I know how.
Oh
And
my
sometimes that's by
gosh.
banging a dead horse.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, give me the horse.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. You have anything to say about this? Oh my gosh.
No, go on.
My feels of this show, if I could try to get us on the rails, which is really tough here. My feels is this week is Rukia Bernard. I think she, like the fact that, first of all, they've updated IMDb since we last spoke, which is great to
Who's
include
editing
her.
that?
I don't know, but whomever is editing it did a great job because now we see the cast not in order of appearance, but in order of like probably the call sheet, which is great. Also, Rukia Bernard.
You can also add yourself on IMDb.
Wow. Should we add ourselves and see what happens? I think so.
But then it has to be approved by the production.
Okay,
Oh,
gotcha.
And it's listed in order of the star meter.
The star meter.
Yes. Your star meter. So it's not listed on order of the call sheet. It's listed on order of your star meter ranking on IMDb.
Wow.
Well, but can somebody go in and change that?
Change the order?
No, so like your star meter is whatever it is, but usually your star meter is lower, which is better.
But like, there's some movies that have some pretty big cameos, like in the theaters, and when you go to look their stuff up on IMDb, they're not listed. Those cameos wouldn't be listed first, even though their star meter would be higher. Like, there's a way for somebody to go
usually
in.
when you
Change.
Usually when you go to the cast list, it's in order of their ranking.
Wow.
That's interesting though that it's not.
Yeah, like if you were to look up, like Samuel L. Jackson when Iron Man came out, he wouldn't be first on the Iron Man call list. Like he wouldn't be on that.
No.
But he would be probably his star meter. He and RDJ star meter would be the highest, but he would be way down the list because you didn't.
Let's save this for our IMDb pod. It's
I
it's
love
really
it.
good.
So they fixed it. Rukia Bernardi is now listed as a cast member, and what she's doing is really like sneaky. and it's really good stuff. Like she's bribing her kid to get information to produce a better television show. She's like every producer in that Lifetime show. Was it Unreal that aired?
It's so good.
Like
Yeah.
the first season of Unreal was great television. After that, a little wonky, but the first season was really, really good. And Rukia Bernard is hitting all of these beats and doing so with a lot of relish. And I really appreciate the fact that at some point they're all going to turn on her. So at some point in this show, the greatest, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, or whatever. That whole thing.
It's the horse.
At some point, the sisters are going to work together. The two sisters and the mom are going to work together because they're going to realize that Rukia Bernard is trying to make them look worse for her profit and her gain. And I think that that's a really good. You don't really have a rooting interest right now. I think rooting interest could be across the board in this show of who you're pulling for. I think everyone's flawed. Everyone has issues. Are you pulling for Franny's or Mimi's? Are you pulling for May? Are you pulling for, you're pulling for, who are you pulling for? But it's going to turn on Rukia Bernard. And I'm loving the fact that even when she's not on screen, you're wondering, what is she up to?
Yeah.
What's she doing? And that's the mark of a good villain and a good actor. So my feels is Rukia Bernard this week. And that kiss was pretty great.
Kiss is pretty great.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll get to the wait what and the chicken or fried.
Chicken or fried, sweeping the nation.
Here on Take the Hallmark. Welcome back, everybody.
We've been doing this a long time. I don't think anything's worse than I don't want to keep. I don't want to do what you said in the last segment.
Well, I think if you take it to the tape, there's worse out there.
Okay. All right.
You talking
Yeah.
to me? We have that montage queued up. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead and
yeah.
cue that clip.
Wait for the best stuff.
Guys, sorry. Maybe I'm in the wrong business, but it's too late. You're stuck with me. We are talking Chicken Sisters Ep 3. It's time for the Wait What. Is where we talk about what in this episode made us go, wait, what? Jax?
Yeah, these are actually legit wait whats that I have questions for you guys because I don't understand some about Southern culture. Do they keep pudding in the icebox? That woman who got is that something we do?
Pudding needs to stay cold.
I guess if you have a surplus of them, you'd keep them in the
I will
ice
say
box
this.
and then put them in the fridge to thaw.
I lived the first 18 years of my life in towns smaller than 1,500 people, and I never once heard the term icebox. Not once.
Okay.
And I don't claim to represent all of the South. I'm sure it's something people still say. We said the fridge. I don't. That term was tough, but putting in the fridge, yes, absolutely.
But the ice box
Put
is
in
the
the
freezer.
fridge makes sense.
Is the ice box the
The
freezer?
ice box that would be my understanding is an ice box.
I would have. I don't know. I don't know.
You would have assumed that the ice box is the fridge.
something to keep something cold, like a cooler.
Okay, interesting. I don't know. I don't know anything about nothing. So
I'm gonna look it up now.
what else, Jax?
Oh, and okay, when May goes to get
It's a refrigerator.
the chicken.
Okay.
It was a non. I'm sorry, Jax. It was a non-mechanical refrigerator, which was common in the early 20th century, before the electrical refrigerator.
Yeah.
So
I'd put my pudding in the fridge.
yeah, you put your pudding in the fridge for
Put
sure.
your pudding in
I would happily put it in the fridge. I just didn't know if ice boxes were a thing that you guys.
No.
you know,
No,
That was part
but
of
Clearly,
the
it was
vernacular.
100 years ago. So there's that.
I love how horned up she was for Sergio. And then when May goes to get the chickens to steal them, right out of her sister's, right out from under her nose, and she says she's talking to that really, really sweet gentleman, and he's like, "I'm so glad you're back home." She said, "It's always nice to meet a fan." And then when they hug, she says something like, "How's Aunt something?" And I was like, is this man supposed to be her uncle? Do you guys hear that?
I did not hear that.
really confused with that.
I didn't hear that. I guess I was just. She was clearly uncomfortable by
Yeah,
the
I
hug.
thought it was a
right?
creepy hug.
I'll have to go back and see what she said because I didn't notice that. I thought that it was just she was just uncomfortable by the hug. But
Yeah, and maybe I like replayed it 3 times, and I was trying to. I couldn't actually hear the words, but I thought it said "How's Aunt something" when she's actually hugging him. That's what I thought she was saying, and I thought the joke was like that's her uncle, and she's treating him like he's a fan. But either way, I was just confused by the interaction. I didn't think it was a creepy hug.
Really?
Oh, interesting.
Oh, maybe we
No.
misread that.
No, yeah, I guess I'm a little too, loosey goosey with my boundaries.
Interesting. Interesting thing to say.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right. I got a kick out of, that we have the plaque for the Gentleman's Guide to Business. And I don't know if this plaque is in order of importance or not, but the number one, the first one is never extend a sweaty palm. And I was like, is that the most important part of business?
Yeah, it can't be.
Like,
Can't be
I think
one.
it should be on the list.
Should
but
it? I mean, maybe.
I don't know. Never extend a. So you're telling me it would be better in business if a business person extends a palm and you realize that yours is sweaty just
to
not
ignore him.
To not? I don't know what the rules.
I can't imagine that needing to make the list.
No, but
can't.
this is the first one on the
It's
again. I
number
don't
one.
think it's number. It doesn't have a number one next to it, but it is first on the list. Never extend a sweaty palm. Do you abide by that rule, Jax? When you're partaking in business?
Never extend a sweaty palm.
Yeah.
No, I like to be polite, and I feel like my hand is very often sweaty. So even though maybe that is ruder, I'll extend the palm.
Okay,
even if
there you
it's
go.
full
I think that's
sweat.
most people. I think most people are
Yeah.
aware, and then you kind of make a joke about it, like sorry about the moistness or whatever you want to say. there.
Do you say that? Do you shake somebody's hand?
I
and
love
go,
that that's your idea of a joke. Is sorry about
the
moistness.
moistness. That's what you said.
What a knee slapper that
Yeah, it
is.
is.
Graham.
No, or just
Got
be like,
'em.
sorry, I just washed my hand. One of those numbers. I did.
Are you in this situation often?
No, almost never. I'm just
Okay.
trying to put myself.
Sorry about the moistness.
My hands don't really sweat. I
Yeah.
don't know what this says about me. Maybe someone can let me know. I'm sure that's a sign that I'm dying or something. I don't know. I assume everything is a sign that I'm dying. May is talking to as Kenneth, I believe, her childhood friend, and she talks about being embarrassed or whatever, and she says nothing is more embarrassing when the teacher said that I had a crush on teenage Simba.
Yeah, this is a weird one.
And it was such a specific line that
We started talking about
How
it.
do you not expect us to just narrow in on it? And first of all, you and I weren't aware that teenage Simba was a thing. We were under the impression it went from child
We were like,
Simba.
it's Jonathan Taylor Thomas Simba, and then
Yeah.
it's Matthew Broderick Simba.
Yes.
But it turns out there's another movie called Lion
There's
King
another
1.5.
Lion King 1.5.
Yes.
And so apparently May had a crush on Simba from Lion King 1.5.
Teenage Simba from Lion King 1.5.
And as they say, lusting after a cartoon lion goes against God.
It does go against God, and
Everything else here above board, God would have no problem with the adultery, but that lusting after a Disney character, blah.
Yeah, I tend to side with God on this one, but it was just such an interesting and a
You're
very.
too busy banging the dead horse.
I know I'm banging the dead horse. I don't think I said the horse was dead.
You did.
Okay. Last but not least, I did get a kick out of Frank Jr., who's been a miserable, sad sack the whole show so far. He has one good day, and then he has to close one night.
That's right.
And he goes 5 deep in the
He's
alcohol.
5
He
beers
can't- He
deep.
can't. It's like, this is too much.
After closing one time.
I worked one day.
And I got to be honest, I think he got through those 5 beers really quickly.
Really quickly.
Because he's still working when she comes
yes,
back
from
by.
the period of time of her looking at the grease trap to Leah Thompson walking in was not enough time for Amanda to get to the
That's
other
right.
restaurant.
And he cleaned the
He
grease
dr-
traps, and then he knocked
drank
down
full
5 banquets.
That is a day.
He was shotgunning beers. That's like my biggest wait. What is this guy? It's not like he had 5 beers and he sat there for 4 hours. All right, great. This guy had 5 beers in probably 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It is
Which
a
is
lot.
a Frank Jr. thing to
It's
do.
a
I
classic
think.
Frank
That's
Jr.
definitely a
thing to
Frank Jr.
do. Yeah,
thing to
for
do.
sure.
Dana?
Early in this movie, I believe, who hits the woman backing out? She's like, oh, that line was so
Amanda.
good. Amanda, that's right. Amanda gets out of her red car and goes out there to help this woman, and we briefly see, unfortunately, Canadian license plate. And you guys, there's a lot. It's not perfect, but there's a lot they do to make me think we're actually in the South down here on the Eastern Seaboard in the Deep South. And that did take me out of it. But it did not take me out as the rest of mine, which are all about the beverage sweet tea. First of all, I don't know anybody that says sweet tea. Like they have committed to saying sweet tea. Like that's how we say it down here. It's crazy. Did you know, here's a little fun fact. If you go to a restaurant and you just say you want a tea, do you know what you're going to get? You're going to get ice in a glass with tea that probably has more sugar than you planned on it having in it. That's why if you just say tea. If you say tea in an American Southern restaurant, that is what you're getting. That's the default. It's not sweet tea, it's tea. You don't have to, if you don't want that, you need to say unsweet tea. That's what you would say is, can I get unsweet tea? Those are how you would define those things. Unfortunately, that hasn't gotten up to Canada where they're filming that, because also in Mimi's restaurant, which is a classic cash only, have not changed anything.
It's yours. That's your place.
It is. Yeah. You're
a Mimi's boy.
That's right. I'm a Mimi's boy. Something happened to the sweet tea and somebody drinks it and spits it out on camera. We see that the dining room is full of people. No one's complained about that sweet tea yet, which is crazy. Everyone would be absolutely out of their minds about that. And then in the background, this one just hurt my Southern soul. They have 3 jugs. One is lemonade, marked lemonade. One is sweet tea, marked sweet tea. And the other is marked cold iced tea, which it would just be marked unsweet. It would just be marked unsweet. It wouldn't be marked cold iced tea. Because sweet tea, also cold, is also cold.
That's right.
And so they were doing so well on the Southern front. They were doing so well on the fried chicken front. The accents were theirs, however, maybe Leah Thompson's. They dropped the ball on sweet tea is all I'm saying.
The tea, as someone who's not from here, the tea is a learning curve. The tea is it's a learning curve.
It is a different language.
I'd be impressed if they got it right.
The fact that they tackled it, good for them. But if you're going to do that, your show's been so authentic so far. But they dropped the ball here. It was one giant wait what over and over again. They just said out loud, we don't know Southern tea. And that's fine. I don't even drink it that much anymore. Like I like it, but I never suited out. I mean, like, soda is healthier than sweet tea in the South.
Sweet tea, I think.
Yeah, sweet tea. Can I have a sweet tea? What are we doing here?
Sweet tea.
So that was crushing, but it's okay.
It's time for Chicken or Fried. Ooh. It's where we talk about what we are and why we are. Jax.
What we are and why we are.
So are you chicken or fried?
See, am I allowed to be both?
Oh, man. This is a question for the ages. Can you be both?
Let me tell you why.
Okay, go ahead.
I think I'm chicken because I am actively nervous about how Leah Thompson's going to take this, what it's going to do with her relationship with Amanda. Is she going to tell Frank Jr.? Is that going to be a mess? What is going to happen is actually making me nervous, but like in a fun way. And I'm fried because I am loving all this. Like, aside from the lack of authenticity with the license plates and the sweet tea, I think that
this show
nitpicking.
I'm very much nitpicking. I think it's fair. Yeah.
No, but honestly, I do hear you because it is their job to like hire consultants who know about this stuff. So like, fair play to you. I agree. But even just with sweet tea, but with like Rukia Bernard's daughter talking about having spent a summer at Stage Door. It's like the authenticity of like knowing what the best camp for, rich connected kids is. Like, I'm like, yes, they do know about some things, they care. And it's a fantastic cast of actors that I'm very excited to see what happens. I'm all in.
I am also going with chicken for the same reason that you went with chicken. I think it's this, how Leah Thompson plays this is really going to set the stage for where we're going this, not just this season, but it has the potential to affect the show moving forward, hopefully into another season, because there's a way that you can play this. You can play this where she goes right to Frank Jr., tells them, and they tell Amanda that she can't come back, and that's how she gets reunited. But that seems short term to me. That seems like a short.
This movie's moving at a breakneck pace.
It seems like a short. That seems like a short-sighted play. I think
and she loves Amanda more than she loves her own son.
That's exactly right. I think there is a play here where, as she's walking away, she realizes, okay, the Southern thing to do would be to cover it up. and to make sure that nobody knows.
Yeah.
And to just play it cool.
That's exactly
and
what the
so
Southern thing would be to me.
she is going to talk to Amanda, and they're going to hatch some sort of plan, and that plan is going to, I think, maybe spiral or something. I think there's things that you can do that could really take this show to another level, and it's going to be not taking the easy way out of just immediately getting Amanda back into the good graces of her family and being like, you can't come back here. All this, like, that'd be, I think, an easy play. That's an easy play to reunite the family, and that we can't do that at this point. So I think there's some cover up. There's some southern play that you could do here that would work really well.
I do like the Southern thing to do would be to make sure it doesn't ruin anybody in your family's reputation. Like that would be the Southern thing to do, and so I do think that's going to play in.
Like she could not tell Frank Jr.
I do think
it's just better.
They're moving fast. Like they're moving fast. Like things that you would not expect to happen to a finale, they've already done. So that's why I don't know if they'll do that. Is because they are really. And my big concern with the show is that it'll move.
So your chicken
through. Yeah, I would say maybe Franny's this week.
Oh,
if I have to be. I still am worried about the soul of Franny's as a restaurant. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know who cares about the chicken as much as Mimi cares about her fried chicken. But, Franny, Leah Thompson's in a tough spot. Not Franny. I don't know her name. Whatever her name is. Yes. I do think there's a show on ABC. This is a weird shout out. There was a television show on ABC about 15 years ago called Dirty Sexy Money. And
I didn't watch it because it's sexy.
Yeah, that's why you didn't watch it. It wouldn't have anything to do with the fact you were 15 or 16 years old.
No, I was 15 or 16 and it had the word sexy in it, and I wouldn't watch it.
Your parents wouldn't let you, or you just decided?
I was a good boy.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't want word to get out in the youth group.
That you were watching Dirty Sexy Money.
That's exactly right.
It had Donald Sutherland in it. It had what's the dude from Peter Krause from 6 Feet Under.
He's so good.
Yeah. And the show was really good early on, but it rifled through plots. And then it became a show that couldn't keep up with its ambition of plot twist and stuff. And I'm a little.
If we did that show, we could have a segment called Dirty, Sexy, or Money.
That's right, Dirty, Sexy, or Money.
I mean, the show writes itself.
Yeah, it writes itself. Should we do a Dirty, Sexy, Money rewatch podcast? I think it'd be like 30 episodes. My point is that that's my big concern right now, is that this show seems to be steamrolling through plots like it just is like it's here for one season and done. Right. So that's my big.
We're all 3 chicken this week, that's and right. Jax is a smidge of fried.
Well, smidge fried.
Smidge fried. Stuff for Chicken of the Weeks, where we dive deep into the life of one of the chickens that have been nominated, the plethora of chickens that we have had submitted
the
to.
emails are getting out of hand.
Yeah. Dan, who do we have today?
We have Bernadette. And all this says is Jackson, Mississippi. She's a bad mother clucker. That's all it says. It doesn't say anything else. Bernadette from Jackson, Mississippi. She's a bad mother clucker. I didn't even get the weight or what kind of hint. Is that Bernadette?
That's right. Nope.
It's not Bernadette. Who is this?
This is Bernadette's, I guess you would say farmer.
You guess I would say farmer. What
I say I'm dad.
You're Bernadette's. You think you're the father of all the chickens?
I don't think I father. I'm in a sense.
You're in a sense.
In a spiritual sense.
In a spiritual sense, you're the godfather of the chickens.
She's a bad mother clucker.
She's a bad mother clucker. Yeah. What does that mean?
Well, listen. No one does it like burning.
What does that mean?
Like in regards to eggs.
Eggs.
Continual eggs.
Continual eggs. What does that mean?
What do you think it means?
Is she laying eggs all day?
Yeah. And night.
Okay.
Oh wow.
That's a lot. It's a lot of eggs.
She must be tired.
Yeah, real tired.
Hey, Jack's big fan.
Are you looking after, taking care of these chickens?
I'm their dad. Do you take care of your children? I don't have any human children. So I see human children. So I see the eggs. I'm sorry, my bad. I see the chickens as my children.
Okay. Got it. Yes. Thank you for nominating. Why did you choose Bernadette over the other ones?
Oh my gosh. No one does it like her. No, like a lot of chickens can lay eggs.
I don't love this.
But Bernie again lays them all night and all day.
So would you say Bernie's
Hijacked. Big
entire
fan.
sense of worth is that the fact that she can lay eggs?
I don't think it's her entire sense of worth. No.
Okay.
A good chunk of
Just
it.
A
wanted to
big part
follow.
of it, yeah.
A big part of it.
Yeah.
But she's funny. She's funny.
She's funny?
She always
What's
makes
she
the other
done
chickens
that's so
laugh.
funny lately?
She tells jokes.
She tells jokes.
I
Like,
don't-
what's the joke?
I can't hear. But the
You
way
can't hear?
No.
You can't hear?
No, but
Can
the
you hear
way-
me right now?
Yeah, the chicken, the way that they talk. All I know is the way that the other chickens respond.
What's a
They-
chicken laugh sound like?
Okay, I think I've been wondering, and I've been working. Do you want one more?
I think I got it. Okay. Sounds like a
So
like a
if you
human laugh.
ever go on a farm and you hear them going, they're laughing. Some chicken told a joke.
They're laughing.
It
They're
was
laughing.
It was probably Bernie. She's a bad mother clucker.
Thank you. What was your name again?
Dad.
Dad.
All right.
Thank you, Dad.
Thank you, Dad.
Yeah.
That's chicken
Chicken of the
week.
week, a segment that lasted 3 weeks.
We'll see if it lasts 4. We'll be back next week with another one. Jax, great to see you. See you next Friday.
Great to see you too. That's right.
Until then, we're the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark's a Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.